the Last Monkey Music Show. We have a special guest, Brittany Elliott, John Araya. How are you guys doing?
Hi,
We're so good.
we're
How are
great.
you?
I'm great. I'm great. I love having the podcasters on because I think there's a lot of room for everybody, and especially when you specialize in something different, you offer something different than doing the old soup to nuts thing. When I first started, I wanted to do that thing.
Yeah.
But you guys have such a great perspective, and we're talking this prior. People aren't aware. Uh, Haunted Chapel is your podcast, and we can talk about John, your musical background, and Brittany, all your tattooing experience. You're a great tattooist.
Yeah.
Um, you guys have so much to offer, such a great perspective, and your guests are very interesting. And you were saying prior, so you're getting ready to relaunch it again a little bit more to get back
Yeah.
into the game. So I'll be
We're
sharing some
gonna
of those videos on my socials as you guys get doing it. So I want to help get the word out there. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank
Yeah, we're
you.
gonna do a Haunted Chapel reboot. So we've been
Hmm.
on hiatus for like a year. It seems like the year just flew by. Not intentionally. We were just so busy, and he started touring with Acid Bath, and so
Oh,
Acid Bath
nice.
was busy, and so a lot going on with that. And then I
Hmm.
was just working, working, working. We're like, it's been a year since we've done an episode, so we'll be back soon.
Yeah.
I think the key to that is you do a couple of them, you get them in a can. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can
Yeah,
kind of get a couple in there, and you can just shoot them out if you're
for sure.
off doing other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always my trick. That way, if I get logged behind, I can still kind of keep the shows going. Otherwise,
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
find a day every week is never
The
possible.
audio is easy to do. It's the video that kind of takes a little while because I like to when I edit it, I like to throw in little clips here and there just to make it,
Hmm.
kind of break up the monotony of just like the talking, like throw a little thing here to like, oh,
Yeah,
just make people laugh, a little chuckle here and there, just to highlight little parts and stuff. So
those are good, and you do that. It's well placed. I do want to say you guys have such good content. I think it's probably a lot less monotonous than you think it is because you guys offer such a different angle. So I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
say that.
Yeah.
You know,
mhm.
Thank you.
I mean, it's fun when you do that, but if you don't feel stressed out like you're not doing an episode because your content is so strong, it doesn't need the icing. It's just a
See,
good
Oh,
baby,
take.
you
yeah.
don't need to edit all day.
No,
We're
well,
good.
thank you. I
Just do
appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That's all. I mean, it's a wormhole editing. I go through it. I mean, I just so I
Yeah.
know. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I mean, what's really good with you guys, and I hope you guys continue, is you both have such great aspects of two behind the scenes experiences
Mhm.
with music and art and the whole thing, like everything, because the industry tattooing and the music overlap so much, and,
Right?
and and all your relationships with people, and just as a not just a tattooist, you're an artist, what you are, and and John, you being a musician and then being a tech, it's just so much right there you guys offer that you can dive into in other conversations that most people can't go deep enough in, you know?
Thank you. And yeah, and I told Johnny, I was like, maybe for a reboot, because he's like, we got to get some people on. And I was like, I think that like we have so much to talk about amongst
Oh
ourselves.
yeah.
That maybe we should just do our own thing for a while and then have a guest every once in a while. Because we were doing like a guest every episode. And then some
Mhm.
episodes, like, we're just friends, like we're shooting the shit. And then it's like, oh my God, it's been 3.5 hours talking to so and so. And then I'm like, oh my God, are people bored? And maybe they're not, but we're like, are we boring? We've been talking for 3 hours, but it feels so natural. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
think
fun.
I would say one thing I would say, don't take it. The numbers is just so much out there for people to hear you.
Yeah.
It's less about you and just about how can somebody find you or get some hours. That's all,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because I think you guys getting into the conversations, I do it. I love having conversations. Like this is a fun conversation. When Wine Over Wino and Charlie comes on, like those are conversations, you know what I mean? Or you know, Tony Dolan,
Oh,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah.
but conversations with people that I'm more friends with, they are so fun. And like
Yeah.
I enjoy those that you guys do. And that's my whole point. It's such a fun. You guys offer so much.
Yeah. It also helps too that a lot of the people that we talk to are friends. So
Hmm.
it's comfortable like to just it's like a conversation. It's not really like so in 1985, you jumped off the roof. It's not
Yeah,
That
not
drives me nuts. I'm like, how are you interviewing James
yeah.
Hetfield and you're reading from a
Yeah,
script?
you're like, okay, so this year
right. That makes me crazy.
yeah.
Yes, it makes me so
Yeah.
mad. I'm like,
And the same
ah,
questions too. They're like, hey, when this band broke up or this band this and that, I'm like, there's 50,000 interviews on that.
do
I
your
go,
research.
I have people say, don't even just a conversation. I have people go, nobody cares about that. I'm like, well, clearly somebody cares because we're talking, and they actually said,
Yeah,
this is fun. I'll come back. Like
Yeah.
right.
they'd rather talk about something different than beat them up in the same question. It's almost insulting if you have somebody of offering some a skill set on and not actually approach them or just get an opinion on anything because
Yeah.
that's something they don't normally do, you know.
Right.
And these conversations that you have with your peers or I have, and you know, I hear sometimes kind of dangerous talking to you because they forget that in a situation where it's an interview. Now, to my part, I always make sure I'll edit and I always go back and say things I would never. I'm like the nice guy or the podcaster. I don't want
Yeah.
anything ever. I don't end it with bad if I don't like something or somebody. I just don't put it in there. I don't talk politics. Like everything nice. I want music to just be strong and positive. There's enough crap out there. I mean, I have opinions. Oh, well, I got opinions.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I support other people's opinions too, even if they're different. But my point is, it's not a ground to be negative to other artists and stuff. You know?
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
and that's why I think I like you guys, because you guys are a very positive show.
Thank you.
We live in a crazy time where like if you have a different opinion, it's like what? So you know what?
Don't say that. You might get in trouble.
We keep our opinions to ourselves, we just
right.
You know, just converse and see what comes.
Well, you're right.
Well, that's the thing. People can have different opinions, like even for anything. Like, I don't know if you guys realized a couple of years ago. I think when me and Juano's first episode we did together, we've done a lot of different things. And because he flutteringly he wants to be promoting and premiering his stuff on my show, which is just such a gift. You know what I mean? Because it's like having one of your favorite artists and just promoting.
Isn't he the best?
He is. He is the best. And then you know, meeting Charlie, like the first thing she made on me, it was just they're so great. But the first episode I did, and this is to the comment is, Juan was on. He was talking about in COVID and his opinions, and I'm open to every kind of discussion. And I'm like, my point in the show was everybody has a view, and everybody should share it. And a positive. We were just talking counterpoint, whatever. I was playing devil's advocate because that's what I do. I'll play devil's advocate on any side just to keep it like, why do you think that way? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's the process? And he put his opinion out there, and one of the metal sites, I'm not going to name them. It's easily to Google. They called him like genius. They're really sarcastic, and they really bagged him on his opinion. Controversial or not or whatever. I mean, you don't do that to people.
I worked a festival, which I will not name what festival, but it was a shit show, and Wino was supposed to perform, and it was at that time frame, and you had to wear masks, like even on stage, and he's like, how the fuck am I gonna wear a mask and perform, and so anyway, they were smearing him. The promoters were smearing Wino. Oh, he's not here because he's a crazy conspiracy theorist. I'm like, hey, that's his business, and that shouldn't have been read. And B, that's his prerogative.
It's not professional. Yeah, I mean, I support even. I mean, some things Ron says these are great angles. I mean, I'm not teasing. We have fun. Some angles I go, that's kind of interesting. Let me check that out. Like, so I enjoy engaging with him. But man, I'll defend. If there's something I'm like, I don't kind of feel that way. I will still defend my last breath his opinion and believe in it and support him as a friend, because I don't think I'm any better. I just think I have a different thought. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that's so awesome, and about you guys, and I always try to get anybody positive those out there to support that, because it's a community, and I think what's happening besides the outside world of politics, it's falling into the inside of our metal community, our rock community, whatever you want to call it. What are you saying? It was one of the few bastions of safety for all this. I mean, you can be anybody, and you didn't, you know what I mean? Yeah. You didn't have to worry about the jocks or this, that. I mean, it would just be any color, any race, anything you could be. Yeah. And you're metalhead, you're like, all right, you're
That's
in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now it feels like we're starting to eat ourselves as a community because other things are creeping in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I think
that's what we talked about, like back then in the day.
That's what my cute.
I love that. That should be the name of the show. Back then in the day.
You're hanging out somewhere, right? You see someone wear like a Maiden shirt. You're like, hey, what's up? You like Maiden? Yeah. Oh, you like AC/DC? Yeah. Then there was a bond.
That's how we found our friends.
Yeah, that's how we found our friends. Music.
I actually think of it. I mean, there's a time, and I'm also a big Zappa fan. I'm doing a lot of things with Weasel. If I wear a Frank Zappa shirt and I'm out, I have to know that I'm going to be engaging with people. Because if I don't want to talk to people, I literally have to wear like a black shirt or just like a t-shirt, something that doesn't have anything on it. Because I know if I'm wearing a rock shirt, or it'd be Venom or Zappa or whatever band I'm listening to, right? People are going to be like, hey, you know what I mean? So you got to be prepared to bond, because that's kind of like an unspoken language.
Yeah.
And I don't care if people wear shirts if they're not fans of. I don't care about the stuff. You're buying the merch. You're still paying for the band. Once you put it out there as a product. Yeah. But if you are a fan of the band, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's a bond.
Yeah.
Great. Music bond is like that.
It is. So you two getting together. We were joking earlier online. The ending of Slayer just to get you guys to meet. Most elaborate.
I did. So I didn't tell Johnny.
I was joking about that. Oh yeah, tell him. So that we were joking about that.
he wrote me to do, we're trying to schedule the podcast, right? And he was like, oh, can I have your boyfriend Johnny? And I was like, yeah. And I kind of gave him a briefing on who you are. And he goes, oh no, I know. I've always been watching your show. And I was like, yeah, we actually met on the last Slayer tour. And he goes, so the last tour was actually because you guys were gonna meet. Or something like that.
All the ultimate design. He did his whole life and career was built around it. All four of those guys. He built the first day for this moment here. Well, not for this moment, but for that moment. For this moment. No. I'm gonna say for this. All three of us now. That's what I'm saying.
All that hardship, all those years of grunting it out, Johnny, just for the booby prize. No?
The grand prize.
The grand prize.
Well, actually, it was all shaping and molding all those years to be the person you are now. You know what I mean? That was experience, because we are the sum of our parts, right? So good and bad. So let's hop into some stuff. So kind of go backwards. Actually, some of the things I know you talk about and you've done is, let's talk about some of the cool furniture you guys are doing and showing. Let's start there, okay? You want to start talking about that a little bit so people are aware? Because afterwards, I'm gonna put the links and stuff. I want people to check it out on YouTube and of course on the streaming sites too to go.
Yeah. So basically, I just started kind of I grew up like very lower middle class, like barely scraping by, so we were always buying thrifty stuff, like going to thrift stores for furniture and stuff. But I loved older stuff. Like I just found myself, like I have born late tattooed on me. I'm just like, I'm old school. I like old school stuff. I like Victorian old school houses instead of like some new house that looks like everybody else's house. I just like older stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, so I started seeing like the beauty in like older pieces of furniture, just being like, oh man, I could fix that. Like I just have a crazy artist brain where I always think I can like fix something and make it look cooler, right? And so anyway, one day I was just sitting on my couch. This was like over 10 years ago, like maybe around the time I met Wino, like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
I had a giant wooden coffee table, and then I had a huge like Subway sized Black Sabbath poster on my ceiling. So I was laying on my couch and I looked at the poster and I looked at the table, looked at the poster. I was like, and that's about that size, And so I took the poster down, put it on the table. I was like, I'm gonna make this fucking poster fit on this table, And so I just, by trial and error, all these years later, so it's been like over 12 years of me making these tables.
Well, now it's a home run. It's all. Yeah. I mean, they're rad looking designs, and they all just fit. Like they visually work too. I mean, you're not just slapping on like a bumper stickers on a car, right? Crazy. And or just tattoos in your arm that float around. I mean, it's I'm like had tattoos like a very particular how you know what I'm saying. Yeah. There's got to be like a continuity and a little thought to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the way your tables are set up, it works.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And so like a lot of people write me like, oh, I want to start doing this. Like, so you just slap a poster on with some adhesive and put some epoxy. I'm like, yep, that's all I do.
Yeah. You got it. Well,
you nailed it. So it's like, it was just a lot of trial and error. And I've been I used to get kind of pissed off, like people were ripping me off, but it's flattering that people are trying to do it. But I was like, man, that's my thing, and I obviously didn't invent it, but like, it's something that I've really,
I get that.
I don't know about that, but like I there was one guy that made a profile that my handle is heavy metal tables, by the way. It's just heavy metal tables, rock and roll tables. But this guy like imitated an exact table that I made, then made a profile like heavy metal table for sale. It was just like me. I was like, what the fuck, And so that was kind of
some bottom feeder stuff, man.
Yeah, dude. And so then I was like, well, maybe I should make like a YouTube to kind of like explain some processes, but I'm not going to give away all my secrets. No. Those are my secrets. That's what I
keep the secret sauce.
That's right. Keep the secret sauce. So yeah, it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of work. I mean, I sometimes 100 hours or more will go into these tables. It's like I'm like custom, totally restoring like a really nice piece of like mid-century furniture, and I use like quality pieces. Right now I'm actually making a table for somebody who's like very personal, like a family friend of Lemmy's, and so I'm doing a Motorhead table for him. So I've got just like some really cool commissions. I made Wino and Charlie a Skinner table for their wedding gift. And
is that the one that's online? I saw somewhere. I think I've seen that one online.
I feel like a big,
really cool. Yeah,
big brass eagle on it.
Eagle on it. It's nice.
But yeah, so they're all one of a kind. They're all handmade by me. Johnny will sometimes help me sand them and stuff, but I've been making these way longer than I've known Johnny, and so that's kind of it was like my side hustle away from tattooing, because I wanted to learn how to tattoo because it was so like outlaw and pirate, like it was like there weren't a lot of women doing what I've been tattooing almost 20 years now, since like 2007. Wow. And so I was like, wow, it was kind of like still kind of taboo to be like heavily tattooed, and now it's so common that I was like, well, I want to do something else that sets me apart, because tattooing is so commonplace.
It's changed so much now, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
it really has. And it like sitting like this for 8 hours a day, hunched over, is not ideal anymore. My body hurts, and I like to
Yeah.
be a little more active. And so yeah, so it's fun. I love, like, I still tattoo a little bit, but my main focus right now is working on growing my tables, because I'm getting a lot of inquiries, and it's just
Yeah.
me and
That's true.
Johnny.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
It,
been
good. I mean, it's a good long game though, because I mean, physically, I think you'll be able to do it longer than tattooing.
yeah,
Because tattooing is kind of like also like hairdressing.
right.
You're standing in your hands, and it's
Yeah,
it's repetitive.
yeah.
It's very physical, I mean, in a weird way. When I
for sure.
started, I would just go for music and recording, and obviously I don't do that. I do IT now, but I was in video and music things all through my life, and done all kinds of crazy things. But one of the things I used to do is well, I used to 20 plus years, or even more, even further back. I was doing video for some tattoo shops and created for tattoos.
Oh, no
And I would do
way.
like, so when they were coming in, because, think about 20, 25 years ago, even further back, there was nothing. So when
Mhm.
he was probably one of the first shops he had, he installed like a VHS player. Kids, look it up.
Yeah,
And I'd go on and shoot all the footage and people in there and stuff. I'd edit together with music behind it and photos and stuff. When you're in a shop, you actually see stuff. So it was like
yeah,
our own visual thing. I mean, that was like I said, yeah, 20, 25 years ago. I mean, so that was a lot of work back then to do that, but
yeah.
it was a very unique thing back in the day.
Oh, for sure. To
Yeah.
have the slideshow of the portfolios and stuff on
Yeah.
that's like
It was
state
it live, it was
art.
live video. I was doing like live
Yeah,
video too, and
that's
that
awesome.
it was really, especially for back then, it was pretty cool. But
Yeah,
once again, we're from there to now is like so different
I
world, man.
know. And
Yeah.
it like it progressed so fast. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I love just going out in the garage and cranking up the music and getting out some spray paint and getting dirty and having fun with my hands, whereas
yeah.
tattooing is like it became a job, because it was like it just got really trendy as far as like what people were
Hmm.
getting tattoos. So like all this people are getting this, all people are getting this, and it didn't allow me to be creative as much as
Yeah,
it did in the beginning. And so although I love tattooing, it's what has really put food on my table my entire life. I mean, I
Yeah.
never had any. My parents are deceased. I never had any kind of help from anyone, and so
yeah.
I love tattooing, but it got tiring after a while. Just like, and you're constantly giving your energy, like you're to your client. You're doing trying to make a masterpiece on them while absorbing their energy and being their counselor, and it's a roller coaster ride after a while. It's a lot.
That's the thing. People don't think about that part either. I mean, because
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference if you're working with them, you're talking. They're awesome tattoos, but why? Because it went by fast. Because why? Were you talking to the person? Were they listening to you? Were they engaging you while
yes,
they're creating? I mean, that is a lot, and
it's
Yeah.
a
that's the
lot.
difference. Also, I mean, in perspective on how you work with people,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
And
actually that probably transfers over to Johnny too. You being attacked, I mean, you get a good reputation for how you work with people.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
just doing a good job, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes,
Yep. It's different for me because she's different clients, and my clientele is smaller. Like I just have one person to deal with usually, like throughout a
but still,
tour.
like, just you have such a
But
good
but
reputation.
just
Oh yeah,
personal. But that's just
Yeah,
personal. I'm saying this is the same thing.
yeah,
I'm saying it is kind of transferable in the fact that
yeah,
a lot of prickly personalities that get tattoos and go to
yeah,
music shows and you're working with it, and definitely more outliers in this industry. I mean,
hmm,
hmm
nowadays it's changed a lot. So it's in a good way and a bad way because you're an outlier, usually more creative, but you're also a little not in the mainstream, so you may not have these same social skills.
yeah,
hmm,
And to have to work with them in different
hmm
situations, whether it's tattooing or going to clubs or dealing with this or changes of production, an art thing, someone's in a mood and you still have to create on them and they're not happy with something you're doing, it's on them forever. I mean, those are all dynamics that are just,
yeah,
almost like a psychologist, you know.
yeah,
yeah. Like
yeah,
there's times where like I don't relax. I don't. I have like not a lot of chill, and Johnny's so chill. So we're like a good yin yang. I mean, it's good for me. I don't know if that's great for him. I might stress him out, but he'll be like, "Hey, you don't need to work. It's Saturday." Like this morning, I'm up work. Like I have another job. I'm a rep for a tattoo supply company. Like I'm busy. Like I'm fucking
Yeah.
hustling all the time. Whether I'm tattooing or doing that or working in the garage. And he's like, "Babe, you don't have to work so hard." And shit, I forget where I was going, but it's just like it's cool to I don't know, just like our personalities mesh so well because we
Yep.
give each other different perspectives on like what is important. And I don't forget.
You are chill, Johnny. Even look at you, it's like
Yes,
you like the living embodiment of melatonin. You're like melatonin man. You're like
he
so chill.
is. Yes,
And
and
I mean that in a
everybody.
good way. I'm not even being like busting your stones, man. Like I mean, it's a vibe. You just it's positive, man.
No, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
And like that's I was just going I was gonna say that like everybody that I've met that knows Johnny, that knew him before they met me or whatever, they're like, man, like you're so lucky. Johnny's such a good guy. I've never heard an unkind word about him because he is such a good guy. Like truly, like never wronged anyone, never stepped on heads to get to the top. And forget what we're talking about, why I even fucking went there, but
No,
just like
no, it's
you're
about
loved.
personality. Yeah, no, but it's about personality and working. That's
Yeah.
why you guys work together. But it's also
Yeah.
you're very similar in that way that you've also dealt with outside things. So there's also that bond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we were talking about your art and tattoo and creativity. But the thing is, I think you still can do tattoos, but yeah, I think you're at a point now where you can do more specialized.
Yes.
I can do what I want. I can pick and choose.
Right, and that's right. You know, take it. It allows you to be more of an artist again,
Yeah.
which will make it more fun.
And my main thing is I can pick and choose who to give my energy to, because I feel like post COVID, and I lost my dad in 2019. I lost my little brother in 2021, so it was a lot of loss, and especially professionally, like we both lost our professions during COVID. Like Slayer retired and was like, later. We never heard from them ever again without saying anything else about that situation. We were just like, wow, like, you know, I thought he was family, you know, and I was
literally family.
kind of family.
Family, literally.
Never heard from them ever again.
Hey,
and it's just kind of like, yeah. And so then my dad passed, and I'd already lost my mom, and we're just kind of like alone, like, what the fuck do we do? You know, and it was just such a crazy, crazy time. And I feel like it's now, like, I feel like that was so heavy that like it kind of drained my cup a lot, that I'm trying to pour back into my cup. And I feel like giving the wrong people my energy is just and draining my cup for others that don't necessarily reciprocate that. It doesn't serve me anymore. And so I'm only doing things that are positive, only tattooing people that are positive, only, you know, taking orders from people that are good people that appreciate me, you know, instead of people that are like, you know, super naggy or, you know, just shitty people. It's like, I don't need to deal with that. And I used to take on everything and then really like spread myself thin. Yeah, just to please everyone. And Johnny's like, babe, you don't have to do that, you know? And I'm just such a, like, even my coworkers, I work on cruise ships tattooing with Liberty Tattoo in Atlanta. And they're like, you're such a people pleaser, fucking stop it. And I'm like, well, that's our job, to please people and do good tattoos. No, they're like, these assholes are just like taking from you, just stop it. And so I'm trying to.
Your job is just to do a good job.
Yeah.
And you can be a good person. You know, how big you are. I've tried people. I've had people on that were just jerks. Those episodes never aired. And at one point there were some of my peers that I thought, oh wow, cool. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not a good person, I don't want to do with you.
That's how we are. And I think that like the post-COVID kind of exposed a lot of those people. It's kind of like, wow, like it's just like so much hatefulness and negativity, even amongst our scene, which is like, wow, people that I thought were really good people, or bands that I really loved my whole life, or like, oh, I worship this person or whatever. And then I realized they're really bad people, and you meet them and you find it out for yourself, and it's heartbreaking. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like I don't wear tons of my memorabilia, my shirts and stuff anymore of certain bands. I've sold off a lot of stuff because I'm like, wow, these are not good people. And I've been representing this my whole life. And that's why I only wear, you know, I wear Vitus, I wear The Obsessed, I wear Venom. I tattooed Tony. They actually did it in store at my old shop, my old record shop years ago, like Tony, 2015. But yeah, good people, good humans, like, you know, people that are grateful for their fans, you know. And I'm not saying that any band necessarily owe me anything, but like to treat somebody like, for example, they haven't helped you for 35 years of your life and then never talk to them in hard times again is kind of like, wow. And I looked up to that band my whole life. That was my favorite band. And then just realizing what kind of people they are is really heartbreaking. But like you said, it was all by design because I got my Johnny.
It is. You do have them, you know, it is, you know, like so here like that just said for me, because that was like from them, that was my, you know, and I live in New England, so like all the preps and stuff. My song was Angel of Death for high school in my yearbooks. Like to me, I'm like, oh, I hate these kind of things like that. But you know, from my experience, I almost could have also learned to like it's almost just different years of relationships that you have in this industry. You know what I mean? You have people are friends. You come like all of a sudden one of the nights you like friends. You start talking like I feel like you guys are really great people. Like just talking off the bat. There's a certain, you know, next right away you'd be like, we can hang out and have a beer, or if you're not drinking, you know what I'm saying? Like you just hang out. This is the kind of people. That's like it's almost like different level. Then it's the next level of they come on every couple, whatever, that you like their music, they're good people, and then they go on to their things. There's just that time in your life, you time deals, and then it's like the next echelon where it's just a record, but you like the music, but it's just totally like, you know what I mean? And the next level is I wouldn't even care how good you are on my show anymore. It's gone off. You know what I mean? There's that level, you know, and it's a huge difference, like to who my peers are and who I thought was over the years, you know. And it's funny, some of the bigger ones that you thought would have been the worst are actually better, and I've learned that some of the smaller bands are the bigger jerks, and I think they're the rock stars.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're really shocked by like who's cool and who's not cool. You're just like, what? Like
it's a funny thing in this industry, like what I do. is like you work for a big band and you have these smaller bands opening, right? And then you have to kind of treat everyone cool because what if
Yeah.
that opening band one day is like,
They flip on you.
next year they're like $1 billion sellers and they're headlining over you, and then you want to make sure that you're cool because they can be like, hey, I remember you were that dick that
Yep.
fucked us over when we opened for your band. So it's a
You know,
world.
an example of that is like, so I was in college. I was in Atlanta, and at the Masquerade, I went and saw. I just had a story yesterday too. I was talking to Marzi that Pantera came in and they were opening for Prong. This is how far back it was, right? So when Cowboys just came out, like the girl was the other time, he just come back from Concrete Foundations and she had the sampler before Cowboys came out, whatever it was. And my roommate goes, I don't know who this band is. He got the tape before you go. I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So I went down to see, Pantera open up for Prong. I was a fan of Prong. And so it was like, it was a win-win.
Wow,
Not
that's
many
awesome.
months later, I came back. They came back from Masquerade. Prong was opening and Pantera was headlining. It was a quick switch. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah.
Now, a couple things. First off, Prong's awesome. And Tommy, those guys get along well.
Tommy,
So
yeah,
I've had Tommy on before too. So
Tommy.
I always say that they're
yeah,
a very underrated band, right, babe?
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
people are like,
totally.
who's underrated? I say
So
Prong.
good.
Yes.
The guitar work is just so ridiculously
Yeah,
tight. Like
yeah,
tight. They talk about like James Hetfield's playing tight rhythm, which he does. But
yeah.
I mean, his rhythm. I mean, the riffs are there so finite.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
do believe that Tommy Victor is a little underrated.
He's an unsung
I
hero
agree.
for sure.
Yeah.
He's a little underrated.
I mean, I think within peers. I mean, that's the thing. You say underrated nowadays. It's almost like, well, we all know who he is, but I mean, he's not up there with the other guitar echelons of like
Yeah,
who you hear all the time.
for
That's
sure.
what I mean, because those no, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But at the time, because I know they're all friends, it wasn't as big a deal. I mean, kind of weird.
yeah,
You're finally headlining, you switch, but at the same time, it's like, that's how the industry goes. That was a perfect example. You know what I mean? It was just
yeah.
in an instant, one on the other, and that was it. You know,
Exactly. That's
and
how it is. You just gotta. It's a small world, so you run into the same people all the time. So that's how I learned personally to be, just be cool with everyone. Just be neutral. Like, all right, I'm cool.
I think you were just born cool.
I don't know if I
You were
was
born
I was
melatonin.
born cool. No, I don't know about that.
well, I think to exist though, you
Well,
had to
kid.
at least evolve and sharpen your skills because in the industry, what you do, everything constantly falls apart. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
so the scenes and doing all that stuff. I mean, in production, that's part of my school too. I mean, we did some production, but it was like it's the worst because everything changes. You have to like build something, you have to fix something.
Yeah.
Oh, an SF-57 is also a really great hammer because those things last forever.
Yeah.
For microphone, I mean, that's just a thing in the industry. Like you could, so I mean, but for you, you always have to be flexible. And at some point, you either exist in that world where you're like, well, everything can blow up and I can just build a new bridge and we're going to move on. And best case scenario, and well, it was a story at the
Hmm.
end of the night. Or you can just take it and you can become bitter and you'd be like, the oldest 30-year-old man ever and you wouldn't be around right now talking. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that balance of like who you are. Those people in the industry that just it didn't work out with.
Yeah.
It's how you take it in, with those things.
Yeah.
He would put a bottle of what Malox by his aunt.
Mylanta. I don't know if you ever heard of Mylanta.
Yeah.
I worked with Lou Reed, and I was just nervous because that's
Lou
Lou,
Reed.
right? And everything had to be perfect because he's a stickler. He's just like everything's got to be perfect. So I just we said the first day I sent around. Oh yeah, can I get a big bottle of Mylanta, the biggest bottle you have? Because
Yeah.
I was at stomach. I'm just nervous. So I was just like,
Butterfly.
all right, go. But that's just me because
Well, you care, but that's also caring
Yeah.
is empathy. I mean, I think a lot of people like I'm very sensitive to that. I'm very sensitive because you care, and that's the thing.
Right.
What period was it that you was with that with him?
That was like a 98.
Ecstasy or something?
98, yeah. It was an ecstasy.
Was he with Steve?
And,
Was Steve on guitar? Was he with Steve from
guitar
Blood Sweat?
player was Michael Rathke.
Okay.
Mike Rathke. He was a guitar player.
Steve Caress was recording some of his albums, and he was from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. We were talking about this, and we were talking about how crazy hard Lou Reed is. He's a real jerk, but every now and then to be on the outside and watch him be a jerk to somebody could be hilarious because it was so twisted.
Well,
I mean, you don't want to be in the undercurrent of him.
You're like, at least it's not
But
me.
if you're watching the audience,
I've seen Lou. I've seen Lou a couple of times be like a jerk to journalists or whatever, people interviewing him, but they would ask him like dumb questions, and but I know knowing Lou personally, like to me, he was a nice guy. He's awesome. He's a really cool cat. He's old. This guy's seen it all. He's been through it. He's done everything. He knows everyone. And when he comes to sit down and talk to people, he would change. He'd go into like Lou Reed, the man, the myth. He'd sit down, shades on his, and then he would talk. And then if he didn't like, he'd like, "This is over." He would walk up, and I'd be like, "Yeah, dude."
That's it. He helped build his own mythos by doing that. I think what didn't help him was when Craig Zappa fell and he made some really bad comments about Frank getting pushed by fans and stuff. That's just an uncool thing. Yeah, I think that kind of that's a little different than the critics in the interviews.
Yeah.
That's I'm like, well, that's a little dark thing. And then you hear other people that work with him, hear all these different stories. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's nice to hear something like hearing the different sides of him. But yeah, I've heard the same thing. Other people that work with him are always very anxious around him. He probably put many Malox people that own the company in stock their kids through college because of the stress you give out.
Yeah, I just had one bottle. It lasted, and then I stopped drinking it after about 2 weeks because everything was cool. So and I was like, I don't need this anymore.
And if I'm anxious before I do a tattoo, and I'm like this, I'm like, I can't do it.
So that's actually a question. This is a good question for both of you. So like, I'm not very near. So in experiences with people, you always get the who's the person that people said, oh, you would talk to so and so. Who's your favorite this? Who's your favorite person you tattooed? Who's your favorite show you work for? Like I get that with my show. Like I don't know if you saw like speaking to over 600 guests, and a lot of them come back. I want you guys to come back, and you can tell who I'm more friends with. They come back all the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it was that question. Who do you talk to? It's different. Like, how do you talk to them? I'm like, just with words. It's like we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Our mouth moves. No one. It's not the same. I don't feel it's the same. I mean, it's like if someone has into horses and they make great horseshoes, I'm like, those are great horseshoes. Let's talk about them. But I'm doing that's silliness because like awesome it is. It's just anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you guys, you've probably gotten the same questions at least, right? For people, who did you talk to? Who did you work to? Like, how have you wrapped your head around that? Like, it's hard to answer because I'm like, well, are you talking about like personality? Because this person's kind here. This person's a great family person, or to me, like, like when David Roach passed away from cancer, it was very sad. And to me, he was just a good dad. He also played rock music because the way he talked about his kid.
Yeah.
And we, that was a thing. You know what I mean? That was experience from me and him. Online talking was just finance about we talk about kids. So, I did them outside other things.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? So like when you say, like, oh, I have different interviews, but I'm saying everything was always different. So for you guys, do you guys have the same challenge to like wrap your head around that? Because you don't say anyone's better or.
No.
Yeah, and I've asked Johnny that a couple times, like, who's your favorite person you ever worked for? And you're always kind of like, oh, well, I don't know if there's a favorite. Like a couple people treated him better maybe than.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate to work with lots of cool people.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, handle the question. I'm not putting you in the same spot because I don't like that question myself. I don't know how you. I'm asking you. No. I'm letting you know. I'm asking like, how did you wrap your head around that question? Because like,
it's tough.
I get it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, well, I don't know. You can look at my show list. Who do you like? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what to say.
So we got a big roster of people that I work for, and every one of them has been great. And just to be like, well, to pick just one favorite, that's tough because they've been all super cool. And I'm still friends with a lot of Erie Vaughn, the first OG Danzig lineup. When I started,
I've talked to him. He's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. I started working with Danzig in '93, and I met them, and I'm still in touch with EV. He's a cool dude.
And still works for Danzig. So.
Yeah, and I used to work for Glenn. Glenn's super cool. All those cats are cool.
Glenn's on my bucket. He's my first tattoo. The skull there. That was my first tattoo.
That's awesome.
Nice.
About a million years ago.
I've been like begging Glenn to let me tattoo him since I met Johnny. And he was like, no.
He's like, no.
I've been trying to work on him for years. He's like, I'm too old. I'm not getting any more tattoos. But he did let me DJ an after party. He did let me.
I loved his the Elvis thing he did recently. I saw some clips. He's so good. He's so good.
We want to see it. We haven't seen it yet either. But
I haven't seen it like live, but I heard some clips. Actually, some show was like ragging on it or whatever. And I was listening to it. They're playing clips of it. I'm like, it sounds awesome to me. There we go. That is nice, right?
Awesome.
That is great.
I have like 4 copies
it's
of
really
it.
cool.
Do you?
Oh, this
I
is
think
the
it's
limited edition pink vinyl.
He sent us that one.
Did he?
Yeah, he'll send us mail and there'll be like cat hairs all over it. I'm like, I know it's actually from Glenn. And then when now I have cats and I send my mail out, that was like before I had cats. I would just laugh because he's so punk rock. He'll send Johnny and I records. Like every time something comes out, he'll send us a record to me, or be like, "What's your address?" You know, I'm gonna send you some stuff, and there's cat hair on it, and it's so freaking cute and funny. You'll be like, "Oh, well, this has actually been in his collection for a while." And then I mailed something out last week. One of my customers was like, there was a bunch of cat hair on my bag that I ordered.
Yeah, like, you say you're lucky. I'm not going to charge you for that either. So
I was like, you're welcome. That costs extra. Okay.
That's right. You can put that in a little locket or your little voodoo doll.
Yeah, that's from
Shandy.
That's from Shandy, our Dime Cat Feral. That's our boy.
Yeah, we got
first off, you have to have animals. It'd be metal. So please tell me. I mean, that's
dude, Sean. The way that we got so we had no animals because we travel so much. You know, we just didn't have pets. We got together.
We always talked about like, we should get a cat. Like, no,
we're not ready. We're not ready.
We're always traveling.
We haven't put this out on the podcast yet, so you heard it first. How we got our boy that's now he's a year and a half. We got him at 3 weeks old. Because we went to Rita Haney's house, Dimebag's widow.
Yep.
And I made her a bunch of coasters for the release of her Blacktooth whiskey, the Dimebag whiskey. And so I made her a bunch of coasters she was going to give out with the whiskey. And there were cats everywhere. And I was like, Rita, what's up with all these cats? You know, and she was like, you want one? And we were like, no, we can't have a cat. And then sure enough, this itty bitty baby was like crawling in the food bowl. No, the eyes weren't open. Trying to eat food. And she's like, look, it can't even eat. You got to go to the vet. You got to get some kitten milk. And we're like, what? Yeah. We were just coming to deliver coasters.
No, you have to take this one. You have to take him.
So she gets this little itty bitty, it doesn't even look like a cat at that point, 3 week old kitten. Take this kitten. We're like, so now we have, we took it to the vet by the Fortress, the legendary Dimebag house, and all the girl videos. We're just like, oh my God, we're at the Fortress getting a fucking cat. This is crazy, right?
I get the feeling it's overwhelming to the inside of it because visually it's got to be like almost like a museum at some level. Because there's so much stuff to look at.
Well, there's
in a cool way. It's great collections.
Tons of Kiss stuff. She kept it pretty true to how it was, you know, in the downstairs at least. So tons of Kiss stuff, right? And so it's like, you got to give him a Kiss name. You know, it has to be a Kiss.
That's a good name.
You know, so we take it to the vet. They're like, oh,
those are the better years for me for Kiss. Just so we know, just on the record, I like some of the earlier years.
Yeah.
And the album they had Unholy, the heavier stuff. Those are my Kiss periods.
Yes, yeah. So we're like, we got to give him a Kiss name. So yeah, they told us it was a girl, so we named him Shandy to have the off the beaten path girl Kiss name, not Beth or Christine, but Shandy. And now we found out he's a boy, so he's Shandy Boy. So anyway,
that's funny because with metal people, and we're talking to the community. We all like certain horror films. We all have love for animals. We all hate other people. We all love good riffs.
Other people. I like you.
Of course, I'm talking. I like you guys too. You guys are great too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, like it's like we have a certain group of, you know what I'm saying? That's the community. Like there's so many commonalities in metal that you can do, and so many friends I made through this show that because of that, the distance is gone, and you know what I mean. And there's so many things that are great. And I'm gonna say, we're going to send you the album. This is the best with somebody who you really respect and you send the album. It's way worth more than anything because you know it took the time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, those are all my favorite albums I've gotten, you know what I mean? From people. When I get those sent to me, I'm like, thank you. This is, you know, it's not even about the money. It's about, this is so great. Because it means so much. It's like a friend giving you a gift. So
absolutely.
That was cool.
They want to share it with you before, you know, you hear it first. Actually, we recently had a really cool thing happen to us. We went out to New Orleans for the acid bath gig that Johnny worked. It was a Soylent Green, acid bath. All right. Play that show, Power Trip.
Amigo the Devil.
That was fun. So we go out there and we wanted to go see Dave Chandler from St. Vitus started a new band with Pat Bruders called Raid.
Wow.
Not yet. So it's a punk rock.
No.
Oh, dude.
And,
really?
Oh my God. It's so awesome. And so Dave's the front man, doesn't play guitar, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's kind of like seeing Wino in Vitus because Wino always has a guitar, but in Vitus he has no guitar, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of weird to me too. Yeah, it's like I almost feel like Wino more through Obsessed and then going back. And I knew of him, I mean, I never had the visual. So seeing him to see him as a singer at this point now, it's very weird.
Yeah, no, it's the same with Dave. Like Dave's all cool, like singing. I was like, it's so fucking weird to see him like with no guitar. But so we go and we check out the Raid show, and we're waiting. You know, there was an opening band, there was a break, and Pepper was there. Pepper Keenan from COC. And it was like
the Nancy's.
Yeah, the Nancy's was the opening band. But so there was a break after that, and then Yeah, there were like maybe 20 people there and less. It was just like all homies, you know? And so Pepper was
Really?
there and Pepper was like, hey, fuckers, I want to show you the new COC album. We're like, okay, because it's
Sure.
not out yet.
He was another one with the rest too, huh?
Yes. And so we go and we sit in his car and he's blasted it. And I was like, dude, we've been in here like 45 minutes. We're about to miss the bit.
It's so loud. It was so heavy. I'm like, fuck yeah.
But he was like so excited to share it with us. I was like, dude, did you ever expect that you would be in Pepper Keenan's fucking car having him show you the new COC before it comes out? I didn't. That's for sure.
He had it on 11 too. I'm like, damn, this sounds fun.
Okay.
But it's awesome. I think, and that's the whole point. I think that there's such a commonality. I think people realize that certain musicians are really just great people that are just talented.
Yeah.
And they're just super relatability. And if you become, and once you have a commonality or something, and once they know you're trusted, it's a different world. With all your skills. Also with you, John, with all your technical background, and once again, another field as you get older, it's hard. Like I talk about this artist, I'm like to be an artist and touring in a band, and just being in a band, going somewhere, sleeping in a bus. I'm like, I don't want to drive across town sometimes at night. 7 o'clock into the show, you better be a good band because that's sweatpants time, man.
He gets us. He understands.
I talked to more artists. I was trying to get Willie John Roth. Last time he was on, I'm like, matinee shows. You need to be doing matinee shows. I had another artist on too, another big guy on that was. I've been pushing every artist for matinees. I really want to just. I know. Look, we'll do matinees. We'll do like. I just have to be like, too early because we want to sleep late too. But I'm like, let's do like a 4 or 5 thing for the opening band or whatever. And then when it's done, we can offer late dinner. I'm fine with that. And have you whatever?
Yeah.
But I don't want to be standing at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Artists are like that because Willie's like, I'm not 100% way because I've done some shows for I'm like 5 o'clock because I'm great, but I am not Willie 100, 10% at 10:30. So to that extent, your career, John, has been traveling too. Is the same physical. I mean, we're talking about Brittany also. She's going into things too, and it's what you're involving with her. How are you pivoting also yourself from not doing so physical, you know what I'm saying, and moving forward? And not in an invasive way. It's like COVID's taught everybody how to move or have a career that can be almost fluid, right? Kind of liquid in a way you can mold. Is that something you're approaching or you're thinking you're doing to yourself? And you feel your mortality creep up on you every day, like I do when I get out of bed.
Oh yeah, every day I wake up. I'm like, all right, what's this day going to bring me? Because I've grown up. This is all I know. Like I grew up surrounded by music. I grew up, before Slayer. They had a cover band called Quits, and I was like 10 years old or whatever, 11 years old, watching them in the garage, listening to them really, and I was fascinated. I always loved music, so I just was kind of just like pulled into this industry. Like, hey, you're gonna move gear with us.
His life was hijacked by heavy metal,
and it just was constant. It just didn't stop.
Did you realize how many skills you have now though that they're transferable? You don't feel like you just came out. I mean, do you realize all the things you've done and seen that actually can be transferable to other things if you want?
It's tough, like because it's kind of like a little bit of everything, enough to get by. Like to what I do, I can do whatever on the road, but in the outside world, it's kind of tough to put my skills to the 9 to 5. Like, okay, what can I do out here that uses my skills? I don't know. It's tough.
Don't put yourself in 9 to 5. You just need to put your skill set out there in a way. You can't live by their rules. That's the first thing. You're going to be still an outsider in a way where it's not going to fit. If you try fitting, that's why I always tried with one time, and I don't. Okay, I found a job where it allows me to just be me. It took me. I'm 55 now, so I mean, it's only been in the past since I left my other job 45, so like 8 years. Doing a career like this, but it lets me be me. Otherwise, But I was like, I have no other skills. I just did this. I did stuff. And my boss was like, no, you've done like everything. But even it's not related to this. It shows your comprehension of doing this. Like you've got management skills, you've got people skills, you've got technical skills. You have all the things and you've done it. I'm not being, maybe it doesn't apply. It's just wordsmithing to certain things to do certain things. For certain jobs. It's all just a word game. I don't think you probably realize how much skills you are, but I think you'd be good doing a lot of probably some industry stuff or things with people. Because I think you have a lot more skills than you even realize it. So
that's
I just
awesome.
want to put that out there.
He needed to hear that because I think it's been really hard for him because that is all he's known. And
It was tough.
the thing is that people don't understand about touring, which I'm sure you understand, is like these weekend gigs that he has, with bands, you only get paid for the weekend. You get paid for the travel day, the gig, and the travel day. Then you have 2 weeks or a month or 2 more months in between gigs. And he's like, what do I do? I only got paid for 3 days this month. And so that's what's been tough for Johnny since the full-time touring stopped in 2019, is he's like, what the fuck, how am I going to make a paycheck? Because there was no room for savings. It's like you're living in California your whole fucking life on tour, sending money home to pay rent. You never can save anything.
This is very familiar with everybody. That's why I asked you.
Right.
And I almost feel that now it's important to say, me to put out there whether you want to hear it or not, Johnny.
Right.
You've got some skills. Because I felt myself. I worked in telecom and doing like cable and this and that, fiber, and like we're the only company out there. And I fell into that job. My career path always been like Mr. Magoo. You remember him? He's like spawning some things in his life. That's my career path.
Right.
But I was always feeling like, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I know this a little bit here. I hate buzzwords, but imposter syndrome, where you feel like that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I can do all this. I did do some stuff good. And then I just had to keep thinking it. And eventually I found something. And I'm like, other people go through this also, and so just been doing the show. I'm like, people got to realize if I can say something to them, you're not alone and you're not totally lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you have these skills, and it's more about, it's almost like you need to put it out there or do it in a way where you're leading yourself, almost like maybe your own business, or whether it be freelance or whatever.
Yeah. That's what things.
Yeah. I think, and you need to put out there, like, you are the king of that, because that's, and if they don't know it, then it's fine. But you can't let people weaken you, man. You got a lot of things you've done. You could hop at PR, you could do this, you could do that. You start your own business where, I didn't thought about it. I'm sure I can think of some things. You've got such a great skill set, what you've done. Because I think if anybody who's worked on the road with bands, I'm like, man, to do it that long, you've seen everything, and you've watched everything go down in a way that it's like going to college for like more years than a doctor. You know what I mean? You learn it on the road, just like a band, like bands learning cover songs. It's like rock and roll college, really, because that's how you learn how to write a song. By writing, you should learn more than your favorite one band. If you just copy Led Zeppelin, you'd be like Running Fleet. But if you learn a lot of cover songs,
exactly,
you can learn the idea of how to write a structure of a song. But it depends. You have to learn more. That one is for you and for people down the road that long and stay with it. That is something that you gotta look into. You lean back into some of your skills, man. You've got a lot there. So don't sell yourself short, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if anybody watching this has any suggestions on that, maybe for John, anybody has any leads, because it has been tough. He's like, man, like I wound up having to get a 9-to-5 corporate job, which I'm lucky and grateful that they came to me, and it's in my industry, tattoo industry. But I'm working for a tattoo supply company, which I love. The company is a good company, but I have to do this to keep us afloat and get insurance for us, because both of our industries are so.
You might be good doing gear, too.
Yeah,
a gear representative.
It's
not sales.
Just a rep.
Sales. Yeah. Well, no, technically sales, but it's not sales for someone like you, because you're talking about something you know about, and so that's not, you're not talking it like on the phone. You know what I mean? Cold calling. You'd be representing some gear that you took the whole lifetime on it. You've got examples, and then you tell them a story of something you've done relatable. You bond a relationship. That's just things.
Yeah, we've done that back and forth at each other, like getting something that I'm familiar with, like
guitars or pedals, or
talking about gear, talking about guitars and stuff like that. And the thing about this tour, this job that I've done, this skill it's taught me to be technical, like the little technical issues of little detailed stuff. That's the kind of, like, for a little while I was building ARs. And the boss is like, you're like the best gun builders are techs, because one of the other guy was a sound guy, and he was a tech, and he was very detailed, and he was that's what your background allows you to be technical, like every detail. I was down to the detail, like I was building these ARs, and that's such a expendable, that's such a great skill set right there on so many levels that you have right there. The technical side details. That's one thing that sometimes Brittany gets on me, like, you're doing this slow. I'm like, well, I just
no, but I'll be like, babe, I'm putting so much spray paint on this. You don't need to do all this, and he's like, no, babe,
you guys are very good balance of each other.
I didn't do that.
Of each other. Let me give you, if you don't mind, I'll give you another example of someone you wouldn't expect to do a story. Okay, relatable. I just had John Elder Robinson on. He was also lost because of whatever, right? But so it's still relatable. But what happened is he thought that how Cassie was smart, and he never graduated. He thought he was stupid, and he's still whatever. He ended up being the guy that fixed the Simon game. You know, remember the game
Yeah.
Simon? They're having problems. He fixed it, and games. And it was there's another game. I think it was Simon. There's another game that speaking about one of the games that teach people to learn. He actually was the one that fixed it, but he didn't actually have a high school graduation. He with music. Here's another thing he did with music. He did also he also helped fix Big Track. Remember those things Big Track that went around? He
Mhm.
has a car company now, but so anyway, so he you could like this one. He was working for a sound company, and I think it's a different companies like Pink Floyd, and he's fixing he starts fixing gear because he could do that. He could hear things a certain way. It was an odd skill, so he starts doing it and starts building and building, right? And then he's at some place and he's doing some sound equipment for Kiss, and then Ace had been digging into his guitar trying to make something exciting and smoke coming out, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I could do that for you. He goes, what? Next thing you know, Ace had called over his person and sent two new guitars over to John's place. He was like, well, I really hadn't done tour. I know I could do it probably, but I hadn't.
Yeah.
so next thing you know, so next thing you know, he Mr. Magooed it, and he was a guy for those many years doing the lights, the smoke bombs, the packet. He did that. He became
Wow.
that guy.
That's awesome.
Johnny, you just have to find
I
you
gotta
got
find
to
my.
So
find your shit.
did you,
Find your
you follow what I'm saying? Like, and he was
Yeah.
another person thought he had no skills, but he has, now he's a car restoration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do have them. I mean, it's not an easy answer for you, but I'm just saying,
I
don't beat
know.
yourself up. Don't beat yourself
And
up. It's
I
there.
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, it's there, and it's not just a talk for you. I mean, it's for you, obviously, Wesley, but everyone else is out there too. Like, you guys gotta understand, you are individual skills. It's a little bit different. It's a new world for all of us, you know. But at least don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
You're not dumb or stupid. It's just you just haven't figured out where to apply your skills. You
It
know.
is just, yeah, it's a step to,
It's
to
been
kind of,
tough.
yeah, it's 40, 45, 40 years of doing this and then just be like, okay, time to do something new. I'm like, well,
What?
what do I do?
I
You
know.
know, wow.
With no
It's
respect,
hard.
no
50 some
nothing.
years
Yeah.
old,
Almost
like,
like,
I had no retirement. The band that I worked for 30, 40 years was kind of like, all right, we're done. Bye. Like,
I don't
It's
even
hard.
think
It's hard.
just kind of like left me hanging. Like, all right, 40 years with a company. At least like with UPS, they gave you some kind of retirement shit.
A watch.
35 years, at least at UPS, you get the shit.
Yeah.
Well, I reached out during COVID, and the wife said, "I don't give effing handouts." When I said we were about to be homeless, and then we never heard anything. So
Oh
that's
my
how that.
God.
After
Yeah.
40 years of loyalty and dedication, it was like what? And then the Syria campaign against us started online, and so yeah,
It's
I
just,
really, I see. That I didn't know it was. I really didn't hear much of anything because I'm a guy that doesn't follow so much. I know like a little bit. But there's,
yeah.
yeah,
because I don't like, I don't walk in the shoes of people. So to me, this is
yeah.
awful to hear. I'm sorry. That's just, it's personal too, and it hurts more because it's family. It's
Yeah.
not just like it's not just an employer that just. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, when they go home, it's their family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you go home, it is your family because it still is your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
But
it's
that's a
it's
different level of it's hard to swallow.
it's been a struggle. It's been tough a few years. Like just kind of like putting all that negativity and all that bullshit behind us. It's really tough.
And us trying to stay positive, and
Yeah.
we'll be like, you know what, fuck all that, like we're just gonna move on past all these people saying all this negative stuff about him, about me, people that don't know us, they're just fans of that band that hear stuff from those people that is not true,
Yeah.
and so we're just like whatever, but constantly having it like thrown at you, it gets you down, and we
Yeah.
would have days where we would just break down and be like, why is everyone messing with us? We're just trying to live our lives honestly. We didn't marry a rich rock star and get our meal ticket. We have to work. We bust ass every single day. And me, most of the time, right, 7 days a week, trying to make sure that we are going to be a success. Like
Yeah.
it does, nobody's going to bring us down, and we keep that momentum and keep that positivity. And this year we decide we're not going to let anybody break that.
Yeah.
We're only going to, give the right people our energy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're just like, fuck that. I believe in him. I always have. I taught him how to tattoo during COVID because I was like, you're gonna learn how to tattoo. He picked it up. He was great. I'm like, see, Johnny, you can do anything. So yeah, the right thing will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that's I didn't even know that all the information.
Yeah.
So I feel even more imperative that I told you that that you have so many skills. I think it's evident just from your career what you've done. I can see where it's hard. I think definitely it's gonna be hardest is like you got to define the time with the band is you built your career. It's all tied together, and your family, your emotions. So you can't just flush your whole life away because you have a lot of success and happiness there too.
Mhm.
So it's for you finding like where to put the mental line.
Yeah.
Where you're not throwing everything at the baby with the bathwater. I mean, those were all your years in a relationship with everybody. It's not all just tied to that one situation, how things ended or whatever evolved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the relationships you had with all the other people
Yes.
and everything else.
Exactly.
And even the experiences you've had. I mean, I've had with some crappy companies, but I've done some things lately. I'm like, I wouldn't have done that if I had met that company. And then you look at it differently, you're like, well, it wasn't the best place for me to stay for a long time or whatever, but I got this from here.
Yes.
And then I think it might not weigh so heavy if you can kind of glean all the good things and the skills you got from it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because there's so many good things you got from it too. But also, I would tell people listening, just because you like the band, it's not your situation to begin. It doesn't take away from anybody. You can still like a band, and you guys be friends with friends with you guys. But the point is, you can't get involved with people's stuff. You can't go online. I don't know if you say anything to people online unless you are on social media and you have stuff thrown at you. You have no idea what it feels like. You're like, I don't care. Wait till you have somebody say something about you, mock you online. I've been there. I'm sure. I know you guys have been there. I've had it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling you don't know what to do with because it's just you don't even know who the people are out there.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing.
He's really good about just being like, oh, fuck him, whatever. But I'm like, oh, like I like really take it personally, and especially from the people that were in that circle. It's just like, why are they treating us like this? They don't even know me, and Johnny's great. Why would anybody treat him like that? But you just can't and especially trolls that don't know you, it's like, would I take advice from this person? No. Why am I letting them change my opinion of myself? And so that's like, he helps me be like, babe, fuck him. Like, just don't look at it. And honestly, I've pulled back from social media because it is such a doom hole sometimes. And it is such a negativity feeder that I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm going to go in the garage and spray paint and soak up the sunshine.
Well, that's the thing. With my show, I turn off all the comments because I'm like, I don't really care. You don't like it. And then I've been lately being like crap about it. Like, well, so to start turning some comments, I go, oh, you people better be nice. I swear to God. Yeah. One person, I'll go to your room.
That's right.
The whole internet is go to your room. I am not that man. Time out for everybody. I'm telling you right now. And I'm not going to say a musician, but I reached out to them online. I said, oh, do you want to come on my show? And they're like, oh, your Instagram is closed. So I reopened it. I go, well, to be honest with you, get a lot of weird people just hopping in and following stuff, it's the weird stuff. Once again, I wasn't using Instagram or even social media to promote myself. I don't feel like I need to. I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My show's not even named after me because it's not about me. I'm just part of the best. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I've been kind of fighting social media myself, same reason, because people are just awful. You know what I mean? They think they know you just because they see your stuff online.
Sure, they can be so mean. They can be cruel.
Yeah.
We do the same. Like, you know what? I've written some songs. We have throwing ideas to, do something musically together.
I gotta get my chops.
But yeah, just like just to do different things out there. Let's see. Yeah. We have opinions and we have stuff on our chest and on our mind that we want to get out, but we don't want to go online and be like, hey, blah blah blah. We want to hey, you know what? Let's put some music out and put our thoughts on paper.
Good old fashioned thoughts and music.
Music, right? What's the best way to put a message out there than with music? That's a common thing.
That is the best way.
Yes,
I would love for you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Johnny writes amazing music though, and he wants me to sing. I'm like, babe, I don't know that I'm good enough. Wino used to always say, "You're my secret weapon, B. You're my secret weapon." Before he met Charlie, and she was of course singing. They were doing Ritual. He's like, "You're my secret weapon. Someday we're gonna have a fucking band." So I agreed. I told Wino, "I'll teach you how to tattoo if you teach me how to play guitar." He's like, "You don't need to play guitar. You just need to sing. You're my secret weapon." So like, I got the presents, but I just gotta vocal lessons.
I'll accept my first invite for your band when you're ready to go on.
Yay! Yes.
Your premiere show, of course. Before that, I'd like that. But I want to thank you guys for on the show. What do you have an idea when you're gonna do the release
for our next podcast episode?
Yeah.
Give us about a month, maybe. We're getting our room in order, so hopefully, like around. Well, he's going to work a couple of cruises. He's working the Rock cruise and the Modest Mouse cruise. We both work for with Six Man. They're out of Atlanta, and so I do the Creed cruise and the Headbangers boat every year. So I tattoo on the ship, so that's really fun. But Johnny helps build the stages for these, these music cruises.
There you go, Johnny. It's another thing. Stages. Also, you got an architect, you're a builder too. Not just I'll just put stages. It's no more than that.
Yeah, you just gotta. We'll do whatever.
I build stages.
But your skills,
we build stages. We build cat towers.
We build lots of
see that stuff? But I'm saying, but there's all the things you can do. You don't even think about the names of it. You know what I'm saying? But there's like the stages and stuff. Like that's another skill set you don't even think you have, and you're like, yeah,
it's just tough to kind of take those skill sets you learn on the road, and that relates with music and stages and stuff, and then to put it into the real world. It's like, okay, how do I make this part of this world? You know what I mean?
You'd be awesome at if you got into to create something into. I'm not saying it'd be easier, applicable with the money is in the like industry. The business hire like a band for like a lot of money. They say, oh, I want to have Steel Panther come, and I'm going to pay him, for my island or whatever. I should. Well, we're not going to talk islands, being fun to islands anymore. But to their gig or whatever, and whatever. But there's other things you have to set up, the sound, the staging. You could do all that. You could run that. There's a lot of money in there because they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
The smart people that work all the time, they feel like, I have stupid. I can't, like the smartest people I know have the hardest things doing anything outside their lane. I don't think you realize as something like that. You know what I mean? You have a lot of skills there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Britt always tells me, she's like, you could do anything. You
but
know so much.
I'm glad that Sean like give you a little pep talk, because I can tell him this all day, but I'm his partner, so I'm like,
no, I take it to heart too. But it's, to hear like to her, it means a lot to me to take it to heart. And it's it's honest, but to hear like other people like you tell me, for instance, like, okay, cool, it's reassuring.
Yeah, you know what I mean? For sure.
Like I know that she believes in me. She's like, you can do whatever you want. You can do it. You can do it. Like I know I can do it. It's just pushing myself to do stuff. And then
I just see a lot of your struggles that I had myself.
Yeah, the same struggles. You're a musician, you're in a recording, you're more into the behind the scenes type of stuff, and that's where I'm at too. Like I'm a behind the scenes guy.
Years it was hard. I couldn't figure out how to translate. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard. But like you could to do that kind of stuff, you could just start working for a sound company. There's a lot of companies that do installation and sound gear, right? But those other kind of companies, just doing the gear for this and that and the telecom stuff. Easy gateway in with your background. Your personality, and then from there, you kind of learn the insights out of that kind of thing. You can start your own business where you're doing that kind of,
Yeah, we got to get out of this. We have to find a better town.
What is this, like Dumb and Dumber? We got to get out of this town.
Yeah, I mean, I love San Antonio. It's great and all, but
we got no food. We got no jobs.
It's not like a real music.
I don't think that bird now to take our head.
Our pets' heads are.
Sorry, John. I'm listening to you, but you totally got me off in another right brain moment there. Yeah, I think location could help sometimes too, because if you're looking for like that kind of job, depending on the market. When I got out of college, I couldn't go within 3 states of Atlanta because it was swamped. There definitely is something about timing and location, and
location. Yeah,
but there are things out there though for someone like you, for music like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just gonna tell him you have the 2 cruises, and then he starts with Acid Bath in March. So we're gonna try to get a episode out before he leaves with Acid Bath, but because they're just doing like some European stuff and then like some one-off dates, like they're not like extensively.
So why do you have to do it in your cave? You guys are gonna be out doing stuff. Why can't you just do it in a spot? Like
do a picture
or not do a picture? Why not just do a live? Why is it gonna be so edited? Why do you just talk on the
That's
spot?
what I think. Yeah, I think
roll with it. Like say, you know what? You make a beginning and ending to your show. You can tag them on and edit. It takes 2 seconds. I know what I do.
I agree.
And you can
all right,
go in the middle.
One tomorrow.
Seriously, you can just do it anywhere in the show, on the boat. People like that kind of stuff because people can't be in your world.
Yeah. I honestly think this background looks all right. All of my
it is great. It is no, it is great. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think when I started, I had like my kids got me lights, all kinds of stuff, and I was because you want to do all the rules and this and that. Who cares? You guys have to come on again 20 more times because there's probably so much we could talk about forever. I think the only reason why I'm even stopping because I gave you guys a women. I know you guys have stuff to do, and my emails just start popping up. Also, Craig from Forbidden just sent me an email. Like everyone's just started hitting me up now because I promised you to do it 2 o'clock.
Well, we will be back.
You will be back. We'll do a lot more. Keep in touch with me, John. I sent you a friend invite on the Facebook. The kids still do that. No one of the space.
Not a lot.
I'm just saying. I sent you invite. I'm the Laughing Monkey Music one that sent you it. Just it's me. I'm not as far as the weirdos go. But we should all keep in touch.
Yes.
With stuff. All right. And my email has my number. We can text. I'll give you the information as far as your show too. All right. Okay.
Perfect.
More stuff. And looking for guests too. Let me know.
Okay, Sean. Have a good day.
Good meeting you, man.
Thank you. Let's talk again soon. Bye bye.